like what? Okay. Here's hoping the video's way better than it was.
All right. Okay.
So. Okay. So, first of all, spoilers for anyone who has not yet read.
Oh, yeah. Chapters 1 through 8.
Of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Oh my god, this had...
By Sarah J. Maas? Mass?
I don't know.
Sarah. Something. My girl.
SJM is what people know her as. Okay. I want to hear your thoughts.
So just for some background knowledge, Emily has read this before, and this is my first time reading it. So initial thoughts was not much has happened yet by chapter 8, except for a bunch of character names that I had to look up how to say.
They're in the back of the book, by the way.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Are they in the back of my edition?
Maybe. I don't know. She's a queen, though, for doing that.
Well,
yeah, pronunciation guide.
I was like, Feyre, got it. Because you were right. It was her sister that said it.
Yeah.
She was like, Feyre. No, I got the cheapo edition. It's not in here. But the Jujel will have my back. So no worries.
There you go. Anyways. Yeah. So... Listen, when I first read through this, I was like, Nesta is a bitch.
Oh my god.
She is spoiled and annoying. But I think she's actually a fan favorite.
Yeah?
Like, a lot of people are like, actually, we don't like Feyre. We like Nesta. Like,
so I don't like Feyre either.
As I got deeper into the book, I was like, I'm kind of over this. But I do like her beginning and her, like, continual character development. That's good.
I feel like she's very like, it's me against the world and I'm the youngest, but they're all just blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Which I totally get because like going through what she's going through is like nuts, but.
Right. But still, I mean, I can't say I've never been starving or hungry. However, I feel really bad for in like chapter 1 for that fucking wolf.
Right.
I feel like, I mean, I think I felt bad for him to begin with, but like later on finding out that he was like an actual fairy, I was like, and the fact that she skinned him.
Right. And like no wonder they were so pissed.
like it's one thing to find like an animal carcass like that, but it's another to find a fairy. Like, was he found as a fairy or was he found as the wolf? Or was he found at all? Or was it just like nobody? I can't remember like if they said anything about this, but like,
yeah, I know. And like, I was kind of shocked because like in other, I can't even think of another book that I've read right now, fairies, but like when you kill them, they do turn back into their like human form,
right,
or like they're
like if they're a shapeshifter or something.
Yeah.
Well, and. Yeah, I don't know. I about gave a spoiler, but like spoiler for later on chapters. But like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think. I don't know. I was just like, man, that poor guy. Like, at first I was like, well, what if he's starving? Like, that's not fair. Like, why would you kill him? But I get it. You're in the woods. Like, I don't know. What was her reasoning? What was her thing?
I think it was just that it was either her or him. Like it was.
Oh, but this is the forest and it was winter because like, she's starving. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. I'll let you have it.
I guess.
I shouldn't be upset over a fictional character that I've never talked to, but I am.
Right. Well, and like, I don't know. I feel like even during the first chapter, I felt like they're putting so much emphasis on the fairies being bad that they can't actually be bad.
Right.
And like, I know I haven't actually found that out yet from where I'm at, but like, I've read enough fantasy novels to know
they're not bad.
Right.
I think
spoiler.
I think there's what is it? So like they talk about how like the fairies, they have like a treaty and all of that. But like if it's such a huge deal, don't you well, I mean, I guess she made a comment that she never like actually had formal training, but I just feel like they would put more emphasis on training these kids on the treaty or like education systems here. Like,
right. Well, maybe they just never imagined that like a peasant girl would actually be able to kill a fairy.
She used to not always be a peasant though.
That's true. She was nobility. Well, that's even worse though, really.
I know.
Like nobility's really not going to be able to do it. Like,
they're gonna be like, whatever, parties.
Right,
Just like the mom was.
pampered, like, oh.
Right. But I don't know. Well, it's funny to like see her like reaction to it. It's like, they're gonna eat me. They're gonna eat me and skin me alive. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. And it's like,
Are they?
do they look like they're going to? I mean,
Right.
maybe. There's some
Mm.
scary ass fairies later on, but like the human, the high fae, they don't look like that.
Yeah.
Also, oh wait, we're still in chapter 1.
Yeah.
That was all I had for chapter 1.
That's all I had for chapter 1 too. I was just basically like, I didn't learn much, but by the time she was walking home with the deer, I was hooked. Oh, the fae are bad and the main character is poor. That's literally what I wrote. I didn't learn anything except that the fae are bad and the main character is poor.
That's true though. I
don't even think you know her name in the first chapter, do you?
No, you don't.
No.
You don't hear it until chapter 2 when Nesta says it. I think
it's Elaine. Elaine's like whining about wanting a cloak or something.
Oh yeah, it's Elaine. And
She's
then
like,
Nesta says, Feyre, I need a new cloak. Bitch, I need new shoes.
Right, hello.
Get out into the woods and do it yourself.
Right, okay. Did you kill this wolf? No?
Did I bring you back food?
Yeah, I think it's gonna not be happening, so okay.
Yeah. What was it? So chapter 2.
Uh-huh.
It was like page 14. Nesta made a comment and I had to comment on it.
I have to read my first sentence here as well. So
she's like, you stink like a pig covered in its own filth. Can't you at least try to pretend that you're not an ignorant peasant? It's like, we're fucking starving. And
right, like
brought you food. Why are you being a bitch?
Right. Are you not alive right now because of me? Like,
right. Like, I would have thought that. I feel like I'm more like I'm like Nesta a lot now that I'm like reading more about
she's
her.
Feisty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like she wouldn't have let someone say that to her.
Oh no, but Feyre's just like, oh, whatever. I don't want to fight. And it's like, no, I'm petty. Like, give me that fighting.
Like, oh, did you want to eat some of this deer? No, good, because you're not going to now.
I'm taking it away from you. You've lost your privilege.
The first 3 words I wrote were immediately I'm annoyed. It's super irritating to me that Feyre has to be like the adult. And isn't she the youngest?
She is. She started this when it was 9 years ago. She was like 10 when she made that promise to her mom or something like that. And so she started hunting at 14.
Right.
And she's
like
19 now.
Her dad is just like, I am glad they didn't go like the alcoholic route though. Because I feel like so many books are like, oh, my dad's an alcoholic, but like he's just disabled. Which is still his fault because of the whole creditors thing. But like.
Yeah. I mean, it's all on him for the way he's acting. And I mean, I know you can't do much, but like at least go with her.
Well, and like when she says like which I'm skipping ahead again there, but like she tells him how to like go ask Isaac. He knows how to set these snares.
Like shouldn't you have been with?
He could have been doing that all along. Like yes, she's going to do the actual like hunting, but
because of his leg, but like at least he can like come with. And
okay, but you could hobble out there.
Like
hello.
He can hobble for a mile.
Yes. But also, anyways. I had a very fun comparison in here. I said that Elaine reminds me of Lottie from The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's so well-meaning and she's got like the best interests at heart, but she's just so out of touch with like the world and reality.
It gets better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a part too where she made her promise to her mom and it just confuses me. Why her? I mean, she made it later on in the book or in the chapter, she made a comment. She's like, well, maybe my mom was like mad with fever. She didn't realize what she was asking me. And it's like, I mean, I've been mad with fever, but I'm well aware of what I say.
I wonder if it's because, like, I was thinking about that too, because it's been bothering me, like, as I've been reading it. And I was wondering, because, like, as a mom, you know your children. And she knows that Nesta is going to be self-serving and worry most about herself. She knows that Elaine is just, like...
And you would think...
in La La Land.
You think with, like, it'd be the opposite of Nesta and Feyre. Like, honestly, I would assume Feyre would be the oldest and Nesta was the youngest with the way, like, they act. Because, I mean, that's just typical family style, like
Yeah.
the youngest versus the oldest.
But I wonder too if that's not because Nesta had the money and stuff for longer. So like she was in that like
and she
nobility longer.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. Also, well, and it's just crazy too because she just didn't seem to care for Feyre.
Yeah.
She was just like, my parties are better than you. Heathen.
Right. But again, nobility in the time period.
True. You know, I'm so confused about the time period.
Yeah.
Because it acts, I mean, it'll get later on, but like there's different scenes or like different places, like different courts have flushable toilets.
Oh.
But you don't hear anything about any like of where she's from or anything. Like you don't hear that, but it's like they make a point, flushable toilet. I flush the toilet and I'm like,
wait a second.
Toilet.
Hold up.
When is this? Modern time, well, not modern time. Like how the disconnect is. I haven't been able to figure that out. Anyways,
That's interesting.
There's a character that I didn't realize. So later on in the book, you'll hear a name, and I was just like, "Who the fuck is that? Like, has that ever been like named?" She's named in the second chapter.
Oh.
She becomes important later on. Her name's Claire Better. So she's used to be like a friend or was a friend of Nesta or something like that. She becomes very important later on.
Okay.
And reading it last night, I was like rereading it and I was like, Claire! Recognized the name immediately and I was floored. I was like, oh my God, how did I miss that? How did I just glaze over that? Like, what? So
I do that with other books like Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter every year and I still will find stuff like connections and I'm like, oh,
right?
I should have known.
It's amazing. So I was so excited when I was reading this book. But yeah, so anyways, that's all I had for chapter 2.
The only other thing I had was that Nesta is probably the most realistic character.
Oh, definitely.
So far.
Especially in this time frame. Like,
yeah, because I would be a bitch too if I had been rich and lived with richness, and I feel like her anger towards their dad is like the most realistic.
Oh, definitely. Thing. Like, okay,
I don't want to put the brand logo
on. Here's the thing too, that works. I resonate a lot with like all 3 of the sisters and their relationship with their father.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in my childhood that like there was like a disconnect, but like I used to be Elaine with my dad and then it like switched to Nesta for the longest time. And then now it's like Feyre, a little bit of Feyre and Elaine. Like he's my dad. I love him. I care for him and all of that. But then it's like, but I could also like go without talking to him for like long periods of time. My mother, on the other hand, is complete opposite of that. Like 4 or 5 times a day I'd be calling her. But like ever since mom passed, I was just like, man, I had to step up and take control of everything while dad just kind of like fell apart. And I mean, we all handle trauma differently. So like, I'm not saying like he was in the wrong and I hope he never watches this because fuck. I'll just tell him not to watch the first episode. It's bad. But like, I don't know. I just felt like, man, like I understand what they're feeling with their dad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I had to plan the whole funeral and everything. And it's like Nesta or Feyre is having to take care of the entire family, take care of everything when he's just off by the whatever. And I understand he's crippled. My dad's not crippled, but crippled in the mind. It's not
right
from like depression and all that. So like, it's just crazy to think how relatable this is.
Right. And like,
I think that's what sucked me in so much.
It's like, about fairies, but like, it's still like real.
There's the
issues.
There's the fantasy part of it, but it's like this happens every day, and that like
Well, and then just the having to grow up so much younger.
Oh,
like
yeah,
she's so young, and she had to grow up mentally very quickly.
Right. Well, and I think we can say that about society too, because I saw a video where it's like seniors in 2006. They looked old, like they looked like my age.
Yeah.
And they were 18, and I'm 29, but like seeing the seniors nowadays, it's like.
Some of them, those children are Amazonian. I don't know what we're feeding them. I don't know if it's the fluoride in the water. I don't know, But some of these children have a 401k, and I don't understand.
No, I'll go downstairs to the cafeteria to get some food, and the workers I don't see them every day, but I see them periodically, and I immediately look at them, and they're like, "It's not popping up. Like you can't get this lunch for free." And I was like, "Well, I'm an adult," and they're like, "Oh, is this your second lunch?" And I was like, "No, it's my first. I work here."
Wait, I am not a student. I am staff. But okay.
I mean, if you can get it to me for free,
all right, I will
hit me
take the
up.
free lunch, but
Definitely not. Yeah, I'm
not
staff.
a student.
And they were just like, "You look like a senior," and I'm like, "Well, thank you. I'll take it because I don't feel like a senior."
Right? I wish I was.
I wish I was as young. Yeah, but it's just crazy because, like,
yes,
I think nowadays we take more care of letting our kids like grow at their own pace and not like force them to grow up like we used to have to do.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whether it be society or family issues,
or
whatever.
Trauma.
Yeah, anything like that. It's just crazy. So
yeah, it is.
Kudos to those kids. Anyways.
Okay.
So in chapter 4.
Wait, did we do chapter 3?
Oh, I didn't do chapter 3.
No,
sorry.
I have words about the children of the blessed.
Oh.
I have words.
I feel like I black out every time I read like the children of the blessed because it just makes me so mad.
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, it makes me, and again, I'm not religious, so like anything that I say about religion, I'm not trying to be offensive. I know that there are good and bad people in every religion, but these children of the blessed remind me of like the Mormons or the Jehovah Witness that like come to the door and they're like trying to come in your house and you're like, no, thank you. I don't need Jesus. And they're like, well, have you heard about this? And you're like, no, bro, get out of my house.
Well, and as a kid, they would always, I don't know why they knew when I was home alone, but they always showed up and I was stupid and opened the door. But I just got so sick and tired of telling them, like, I went to a Catholic school. Like, I was in 6th grade, actively at a Catholic school, going to church every day. Not that I believed it, but I was going. And I was sitting there like, I'm in a religion. I don't want yours. I'm in a religion. Like, I'm in one. I'm in one. I don't want it. I'm in one.
Also, I'm a straight up child, so you should probably leave.
Honestly. And I was sitting there and I was like, do you guys not get the hint? Like, I'm already in a religion. I'm not converting to yours. If I'm converting, I'm doing my research. I'm in 6th grade though. Like, I'm not doing that right now.
Right. Like, and literally at the end of that sentence, I put little asterisks and eye roll.
Oh,
because like, yikes.
I don't have any issues with religions of any sort, but
there are zealots in everyone.
Yeah, don't push it.
Zealots? How do you say that word? Is that one of those words that I've read and never pronounced out loud and just pronounced completely wrong in the first episode of our podcast?
I honestly have been afraid to do that. Zealots? I feel like zealots is the correct term.
I feel like that's how you pronounce it. Well, anyway, you know what the fuck I meant. So Zealot. Okay, see?
Okay, it kind of cuts it off. Zealot.
All right, zealot. Okay, zealot. Like that. Like, I feel like every religion has those, like, crazy people that are taking it a step too far.
Right, and it's like, okay. Religion in general, like, there's multiple religions out there. Like, why do you think your one prevails?
Right.
And although, I guess in this one, I mean, I feel like the fairies have their own religion because, like, half the time they talk, like, oh, for the love of cauldron or something like that. Instead of the love of God, it's the love of cauldron. And so I feel like they have their own sort of religion and the humans have their own, but it's been like long forgotten in years past. So like, this is all they have. Like, they have nothing but like the children of the blessed, like bugging them.
Well, and I feel like it's kind of fair. Like, if all of a sudden we found like aliens on the planet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, like, they're there. Hello, people. Just so you know, the aliens exist. Like, don't be stupid. Second of all, if we all of a sudden found out there was like a colony of them living on Earth, there would be people that would be like, oh yeah, let's worship the aliens.
We already have people who are like not serial killers, but cult people.
Right.
The San Francisco, I think is what they were. They all died, and like 26 of them died in a house because they were ready to go to the
Oh
alien
my
mothership.
gosh. Yes,
Yeah,
I've
that
seen
one.
like the suicide pact things. Those are so creepy.
But my favorite.
Also, totally just nope, it's gone. The thought process just left my head. Oh, okay, no, it's back. I saw a fan theory the other day that said that is it Ilvermorny, the American
A
like
liver morning, I think it is.
yeah,
A liver morning.
that that's in Area 51. And that's why when people stormed Area 51, like they couldn't get in
because of the
there
charms.
was Muggle repelling charms or nomad,
I haven't
guess.
heard that. That's so good.
Right? And I was like, oh.
Have they ever described like what's around it?
Everyone just says it's like a desert, right? Like with like a fence. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about like a liver morning.
I don't know.
So like Hogwarts like obviously has like
I feel like she has, but I have like I'm gonna get on Pottermore later and look it up.
To be determined.
We will circle back to that another day.
Honestly though, but like Nesta's attitude towards them is probably my attitude towards anyone that like gets in my face. So like at Purdue, they always had like the like memorial area where they always had all kinds of like booths and all of that come up. There was always somebody who was always against abortion, or somebody who was like, you're going to hell, find God now before you like it's too late. And it's like, I got to cross that to get to my next class. Do not talk to me, especially when I have headphones on. Like, do not talk to me. That's the universal sign of do not talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, and then wasn't there a spot where like the girl grabbed Nesta's arm or something? I will punch you in the face. Don't touch me. Yeah. Especially to talk about your psycho religion that is psycho.
Yeah. And she's just like, it's a worthy cause. And I'm like,
and Feyre was like, no, it's not.
You're going on hearsay. You don't have any evidence to support.
Right.
Like your sister or whoever it is to you went across and now she lives in riches. Has she come back to tell you that?
Right.
You
have you seen her? She do a Snapchat.
No, because she's dead.
Right. They ate her.
Whatever. Anyways.
I also wrote down, which again, like makes me think back, like to like childhood or whatever. Not necessarily childhood, but like going through high school and college when everyone tells you how unrealistic your dreams are. And like not necessarily just family, but like I know we've had this conversation the other day, but like counselors and stuff too, just telling you, because that's like every time Feyre talks about art, she's like, get those useless thoughts out of my head.
Right.
Like I should have marked the quote, but there was a spot in I think it was chapter 6 that she looked into his eyes and saw the color of his eyes.
Oh yeah, and she's like, what is it? I keep wanting to say chapter, but like file it away.
Basically. Yeah. She's like,
I'm gonna put it away for later.
Get those useless thoughts out of my head, or something is what she says, and I'm just like, oh, like,
girl, that's your passion,
right?
Go for it. I get it before, but now that you have it, like, go.
Yes,
but I don't know.
Also, really enjoy the character of the mercenary.
Oh yeah, strong female lead.
Yeah,
love it.
And like that, she was like, somebody paid me or gave me the chance in the past. Now let me give you the chance. And I was just like, yeah,
like that's a worthy pay it forward cause, not the stupid, I'm going to buy your Starbucks order.
All right. Listen, if I have money to go to Starbucks, I'm not the one that needs your kindness.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who are saying, like, just give extra tips to the workers there because they probably, not that they can't afford it. I mean, they probably get free drinks, but
like, can they afford their rent when they get home? Like, probably Starbucks pays better than, like, minimum wage, but minimum wage is so low that better than minimum wage is still not great.
Yeah. Even $15 an hour is hard to make.
Yeah,
a general studio bedroom payment,
right? Especially like around here, it's. I think the cheapest rent I've seen anywhere near here is $500,
and that's in like a really sketchy neighborhood with a lot of police activity. So like safety,
where they have like locks on your
locks on your windows and doors, all of that. It's crazy.
Well, no, I was looking at apartments one time when I first moved down here, and they had locks on the thermostat. So you couldn't change the thermostat. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Juicy.
It was insane. I was like, oh, okay, moving on.
Crazy. So for chapter 4, when Cool.
I literally wrote, well, that escalated quickly.
I know. She's just trying to make ends meet, and all of a sudden, just fucking busting the down. You're gonna fix that? Do you live here? Are you gonna give me food and money? I don't think so.
You literally, and like I remember reading this because I got to the end of the last chapter when they were like, there was a loud crash and roar outside or something like that. And then like I had to stop because I was going somewhere and I was like, no!
What happens next? Yeah, oh my God, crazy. That still pisses me off. Like, how dare you? I get it, you're pissed off. I killed your friend, but like, how dare you come into my place like that?
Well, and like my thing is, how was she supposed to know that that wolf was Fae? Like, I know she kind of suspected it because of the size, but like,
there was no metal tang in the air, as she likes to explain later on.
Right.
And
there was no,
it's
like,
not like you can't have magic in the realm. The humans just can't do it.
Well, and like he can't, like, how, I just don't understand how she was supposed to know. Like,
right.
Yeah, she killed the wolf.
He just stood there and stared at me, and it's like, yeah, he fucking got shot. I'd be like, fuck.
Right. If I was there and I was this little, however old she is, girl in the middle of the woods trying to make ends meet for my family, and a freaking wolf was there, if I move, it's going to scent me and it's going to attack me.
Right.
So
the reason why he was there comes out later in the book, and it's so good.
Oh no.
So it pisses you off.
Uh-oh.
Like, it pissed me off. I was so mad. I was like, I fucking hate this. This is horrible. Like, sending these people to their deaths, essentially, is like how I interpreted it. And it's just like, well, I mean, that's kind of how Pharaoh was looking at it, life or death. So
Right.
It's like, all this anger, why?
Yeah.
But anyways, so Pharaoh gave a warning to Nesta about Thomas Mandrake.
Oh, yes.
Honey, tell it to your sister. She might be a bitch, but we don't want anyone to be... Oh, God, excuse me. That's why I don't drink pop. I burp. We don't want anyone to be abused. And I kind of wonder, too, if, like, Nesta was thinking, like, oh, shit, like, she does care about me. She's not just doing this because she has to survive herself, and, like, because, like, Feyre makes comments about, like, wanting her sisters to be married off so she could just have enough money for her and her dad and to be able to paint and do whatever without, like, worrying about anything. So it's like, maybe Nesta thinks she doesn't care.
Right, but in reality, she does care. It's just she cares so much, she wants you to go to something better.
Yeah. So.
And not get your ass kicked around. Which also, I pity the man who would try to punch Nesta around, because I feel like she would kick his ass.
Dude, she'd fucking kill him. She'd be like, do not touch me like that. I am a motherfucking queen.
He would just not wake up one morning.
Oh, no.
And it would
smothered.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know. You killed his fellow too much, too long, for too hard. I don't know. Something happened. Oh, my poor husband.
He slipped, and I held the pillow down over his face for 20 minutes while he struggled. Also, if you're listening and not watching the YouTube, you should go to the YouTube and find this section, because I just made the most creepy smile at the computer. So there's that. All right,
man. Anyway, so yeah. Anything else for chapter 4?
I put, why do I feel like I'm about to find out that the humans were actually the bad guys and the leaders just lied? Because that's what human government does.
The leader,
like the leaders. No, I mean like the leaders of the humans, like the government of the humans. About the history, because hello.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that could be possible. Although it's been like 500 years. Although I don't think you know that yet. But it's been like 500 years since like the treaty started. So it's kind of back and forth. Yeah. With it, but
just like, you know how like we like to twist history to make it seem not as bad, or like the other people were just as bad, and
yeah. You know,
I feel like,
now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna have to like, I'm obviously like gonna reread it, but like now I'm gonna have to like watch out for that.
Yeah.
Like, is there any twistings here? I mean, there's some betrayal along the way, but
yeah,
what good story doesn't have a good betrayal or 2 or 3? But listen, when this wolf came in, I was like, what the fuck does this thing look like? Feline body with like a wolf head. Like, is this a chimera? Like,
Ooh, right.
with
Like
horn. I was trying to figure out the word, so I thought maybe doing the action would like
antlers. Like what is this?
Antlers. I don't know. I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, no, I don't. I was just like,
because when I think feline, I think of my cat, and then
right.
I think of like a dog's head, and it's like,
I guess when I read it, I was thinking like it just made it that much more wild, like the way it was like prowling was.
Yeah, yeah, true. Like quiet, like a lion, but like a wolf.
Yeah,
hybrid. I don't know
either.
Here's something else to think about. Or do you have anything else for chat? Or are you on to chapter 5?
I turned the page.
All right, cool. Here's something else to think about. So in chapter 5, the mare, is it a mare or a mar? When it's a female horse.
Mare.
It's a mare.
I've always said mare. I hope it's mare.
Blame my upbringing.
Oops. So interruption. No, I read this thing the other day that was like, don't make fun of someone for pronouncing a word incorrectly because that meant they learned it by reading. And like I spend my whole life reading, so I know my vocabulary is huge. I don't know how to pronounce half of the shit.
I'm gonna sound stupid the moment I like read. Like I was like
zealot. Me over here going zealot. Sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I confirmed it's a mare, so we were right.
Okay, I was pretty sure on that one, but you never know.
I mean, that's the shitty thing about reading. You like read all these words and you have no idea how they pronounce, but then you're just like, oh, I hope I was pronouncing it correctly. But then you just like you get so confident in it, you like blurt it out one day, and everyone's like, that's incorrect.
Oh my gosh, I have one of those. So when in Harry Potter they swish their wand and say expecto patronum, and the thing comes out, and what is it called?
Patronus.
A patronus. I always called it a patronus because I'm a Yankee. And I said it one day, and Kayla was like, "What?" And I was like, "Listen, I like the books, not the movies. I've seen all of the movies, but sometimes things are so ingrained in your brain that you just a
patronus.
Yeah, listen. Don't make fun of me.
I can't. I can't say that much either because Chloe, the girl who got me onto these books, she there's a character later on, the way she pronounces it, you just stare at her like, huh? I don't think that's how you pronounce it. And then you like, because I had a different pronunciation for this character, like Amren. It's Amren, but she called her Amren because it's Amren. And I was like, oh, I guess I can kind of see it, but like the hick in me just wants to say Amren. So like, oh, she's probably right because she's not really a hick, and she didn't come from like a shitty little hickish town. So I was just like, okay, I'm probably incorrect, but I don't like the way that sounds. No, I was right. I prevailed. Anyways,
oh my gosh,
back to the thing. So here's something to think about. The mayor respected Feyre because she like bowed her head upon seeing her. So what do you think about that?
So I also like, I didn't have it written down in here anywhere in any of these chapters, but I have some kind of theory that like the reason that they offered her sanctuary instead of like, oh, you're raising your eyebrows at me. Does that mean something? Like that instead of like killing her was because like is she Fae somehow somewhere down the line?
I mean, like, Feyre does mean beautiful fairy,
right? So I'm like, something strange is happening here because like he could have just killed her and moved on with his life, but instead he's like taking her home as a pet. Like, what? Also, because of what I've heard about these books from like Book Talk and other things, I'm like, I have this weird image of like furries in my head. Because like he's like this beast with horns. I
know.
I'm like,
listen. I'm Tamlin, the beast in question, is just not my favorite. Even when I first read this, I like had no idea like what was going to happen. I was just like, I don't like this character. I don't like him at all. He was not my favorite. Like I liked the story and the idea behind, but him, as he was portrayed, I did not like. I
Yeah.
also go for dark-haired,
Tall,
light-eyed.
dark, and handsome.
Yeah. I go for dark-haired, either dark-eyed or blue-eyed men. So he's the opposite. He's blonde.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
And he just seems kind of sad. Oh.
No, he's got anger issues.
Well, so far he just seems sad.
True.
Oh, are you sad in your mansion? Kelly Clarkson said that. Okay. She's talking about her children, Kelly Clarkson, on the Kelly Clarkson show, and she was like, her kids were like, oh, we're bored. And she was like, oh, are you sad in your mansion? It's one of my favorite Kelly Clarkson quotes ever in the world.
That's funny. No, so listen.
Hashtag Kelly Clarkson. Just hello, Kelly, if you're listening.
Love you. I love your show.
Freaking queen. Okay.
No, listen, like anger issues. He did not tell her anything about like what to do, where to go, anything like that. He just was like, you're to live in Prithian. You were free to go. And so as she's standing outside the mansion itself, she's like, okay, well, I guess I could run. He didn't tell me I can't, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's still in survival mode. He didn't tell her specifically where she needed to be or what she needed to do.
He just growls at her.
Yeah, he just growls at her from inside. It's like, bro, take a chill pill, calm some anger.
And then she gets in there and he's like, you can go wherever you want to go. Well, then, like, don't growl at me and make me come in here.
Exactly. Like, bro. Get your shit together. I was so mad. I was like, anger issues, excuse me. Like, I didn't, okay. This is probably like trauma related. But like when I first read through this, I was like, oh, he really cares. Reading through this again,
Stockholm syndrome.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, she can't go anywhere, even though she says she's allowed to go anywhere. Like, red flags. And I didn't catch it the first time through, so now that I'm rereading it, I was like, oh, they were there all along.
I'm just waiting for somebody to listen to this and watch the YouTube and be like, you're talking about Stockholm syndrome with like a Beauty and the Beast poster in the background.
A lot of Beauty and the Beast things.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Stockholm syndrome.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Whatever.
What chapter are we even talking about right now?
Chapter 6.
Okay.
My notes said homeboy has anger issues.
I said something as I'm reading, like I'm writing down my honest reactions, and I said, "Is this fairy a high fae?" Oh, yes, he is, because I kept reading it. Like on the next page, he turns into like the human form, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, like I don't know. I just can't get over the anger issues. I really can't. But there's what is it? Oh, my notes. That's what it is. My notes for chapter 7 is Stockholm syndrome. I was like,
great minds. Right? Great minds.
Anyways, so okay. She like, what is it? She's like trying to figure out. Oh, here's some. Okay, I didn't write this down, but now I remember it. Okay, so when Lucian and Tamlin are sitting at the thing, and she's standing there like she's scared shitless, like where the fuck am I gonna go? She's just standing there like and he's like go wash up or something like that, and like shoos her away, like I'm nothing, I'm worthless to you because you're high fae and all that. And I'm just like, honestly, girl, like red flag number 2.
Right, like run.
Issues. He's gaslighting you. He's telling you one thing, but then not letting you do it.
Yeah.
Red flag number 3. But anyway, so she goes upstairs and like gets changed, and then she comes downstairs or whatever, and then Lucian's like, not a dress. That would have been so much prettier. Bro, fuck you.
Right.
Like you're still I'm still trying to boost you up on my like little totem pole that I have of characters, and you're still low.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck up. But he what is it? Oh, he starts making comments about her and like eating or something like that. And what is it? I don't know. Something about like come sit down, come eat or something like that. And it's like,
yeah, but he only says like sit, eat. Like he doesn't use
he didn't. Like, this girl has just been fucking ripped from her family, has been starving for months, has been doing this lifestyle for 8 years, and you just ripped her from it. Like, give her some time to adjust.
Well, and
let
like
her faint. Like,
he says multiple times, like, "Oh, you think we're terrible, you think we're awful, you think we're bad." So like, why is she gonna come into your like freaking mansion and sit down and eat your food and trust that you're not trying to like poison
you
her?
haven't killed her yet. Yet
Being the operative word.
Right. Like, come on.
But then I did put at the end of my notes for chapter 6, I'd love to be kidnapped and taken to live in a fairy castle for free. Where do I sign up? Because it sounds.
Can I just not be with Tamlin though?
Kind of
can
cozy.
I be with anybody else?
Well, then in like the very next sentence on chapter 7, I'm like, I like Lucian.
You don't, or you do?
I do.
Yeah.
And then he makes me think of Loki.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, just the way he's like,
because his fox mask
yeah.
is very, yeah.
Also, the whole mask thing and like the magic being broken or whatever.
That really confused me. I was like, a blight in the air, like in the world. What blight is there? But that gets explained later.
That's good, because I'm like, there's parts where I'm like confused. So the sickness is to the magic,
right? So when he's like talking about like, there's a sickness in the air, there's this, there's that, it's coming, it's doing this, it's doing that. The way he's like wording it, I didn't catch. I was like, well, that's just kind of weird, like the way he's wording it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about like the possibilities that it could open up for later, which it does happen.
Oh, and then I said, like, so the sickness to the magic, is that how Feyre becomes a fairy? And I'm like, oh, wait. Or is she already a fairy? Like, I'm super confused as I'm writing my notes for this part. Because, like, I thought I heard somewhere on, like, either Instagram or Book Talk or something that she becomes a fairy. But now I'm like, wait, was she already a fairy?
Well, I'm not going to say.
Of course you're not.
But you got to read. You'll find out at the end of the book.
And then I'm like, the book is starting to get interesting now. Oh.
Yeah. Well, there's a part, too, where Lucian starts talking, like, do you find us so repulsive? Aside from this, and he points to his scarred face, and he's just like, are we not attractive enough for you? And I was like, how dare you?
Like, excuse me.
Right. Like, I totally would have been like, no, you ugly as fuck.
No, I think like I would have initially, like, instantly liked Lucian. And I feel like maybe it's the Nesta in me that's like, fuck them bitches, I'm gonna stay here in this castle with Lucian and eat this food. But like, it's the like survivalist in me that's like, nah.
Yeah.
But like Feyre the whole time is like, I need to get back to my family. And I'm like, ooh.
Do you want to go back to your hovel?
Your hovel. And not have anything to eat and have to deal with their ungrateful asses.
Right. Well, and then it's funny because, and this comes out later too. What is it? But Tamlin trying to give compliments to Feyre. Your hair looks clean.
Like, oh.
Do I smell better too?
Like, right.
And then she's like this piss poor attempt at flattery.
And you're like, yes.
You're right.
Oh my gosh.
You're right. We don't do that. We don't do that here. But I think it's funny. I mean, at first I was just like, you take her as a prisoner, essentially, because she can't fucking leave, but she's not supposed to, like, she doesn't have to be there. But like, you take her as a prisoner and then you like come back and try to give her compliments. It's like, bro.
Right. Like,
and then
what?
Lucian called him out. You haven't done this in a while, have you?
Which is my favorite. Literally, I feel like Lucian is like the sassy gay best friend. And like, yes. I'm gonna die if I find out that he actually is. But like, I have this theory in my head that like the wolf was like his boyfriend.
Oh yeah, because he's like the most pissed off about it. Tamlin's not that mad.
Right. Like Lucian was like pissed. Upset.
But also he's a courtier.
Oh. Well,
courtier, whatever, and an emissary. So like
words we don't know how to pronounce.
So I think partially there was a great friendship there because of like having to work with him. So I didn't think of the gay best friend thing though, but like that's a good option.
Which is like, that also reminds me of Loki. Like Loki reminds me of a sassy gay best friend. So like, I like it.
Tom Hiddleston.
I also don't understand why that Feyre all like for some reason thinks that Lucian will be on her side, other than like their mutual dislike for each other.
Like, I think it's because he doesn't want her there. Like
right.
he
So
wants
like she
her.
thinks that he'll help her get out.
Yeah, like push it. Like, oh, you don't want me here? Help me leave.
Right. Like I don't want to be here. So
like, let's both get what we want.
right.
Yeah. So there's that, but
Oh, this is what I said. This is where I got my theory um about her being fairy already or fae already. Is like sometime at the end of chapter 8, Tamlin asks her, didn't her mother tell her about fairies? And I'm like, wait, who was her mother? Like, who did her mother know? Like, or was that just like a generic, like, didn't your mother teach you that lesson when you were
I know.
little?
I was kind of surprised when they said mother, but I was also like, what?
Right. Because then, like, later he's like, well, there was no older woman in your house. So, like, how did she die?
Right. Well, and then something else too. It's like, well, he not necessarily that he assumes that she's poor, but I feel like he knows a lot about her. That maybe he knows that like maybe she was rich once upon a time, and like,
oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, because she was like, so is this what you do with your lives? Spare human from the treaty and have fine meals, and then like Lucian makes some joke about how they dance naked and steal human babies, and then Tamlin is like, didn't your mother tell you anything about us?
No one knows shit about you guys. It's been
Right.
500 fucking years.
Like, so that's what made me think, like, like who is her mother? Did her mother dally with fairies? Like what's
dally with
what's
fairies?
going on here? There it is.
There was a part though where he like used magic to trap her to the chair so that she would eat, and then he had the audacity to be like, "It's a privilege to be served by a high fae." Bitch, I didn't want it.
Right? Like, okay. It's also
I want to be here.
Right? Like, it's also a privilege to sleep in a bed, but if I want to sleep on the floor, I will. Like, bro.
Yo, I'm not petty. I would be like, I'm sleeping right here.
Right. Oh, it's like
that nice comfy bed over there. I don't give a shit.
I'm not doing it.
I'll take the blanket though and a pillow, but I'm sleeping on the floor, you bitch.
Also, I need to know, are our chapters, like, are our page numbers the same?
Yeah. Because chapter 9 is 80.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. But
that's good to know.
Stockholm syndrome, it started.
Yeah, I see
she's just like, my heart thumped a little bit, and I was like, don't do that. And then she like quickly was like, and I think it's because he saw me take the knife from the table, and I'm like, yeah, you hope so.
Yeah. So I think like at the end of chapter 8, my final thoughts of or whatever and so far are Lucian is probably my favorite character so far.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Probably followed by Nesta. I really like Elaine, but I don't feel like they've like I feel like they're gonna have to do some more development before I'm like, oh, I like her. Yeah. But I think I probably do identify the most with Nesta.
Yeah. I'm a little mixed with Feyre and Nesta. It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
When it comes to like feminism and all that, I'm totally Nesta. When it comes to Feyre and a lot of like survival instincts, I'm pretty Feyre.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to fight or flight, I'm definitely fight, not flight. Like,
yeah,
I don't run fast, so I'm gonna turn around and
I gotta go fight
and fight because I'm not going to get away.
Right. Well, and it's like not that I've ever like really been in that situation, but I was always taught like you don't run from your fights, and it's like, well, I'm taking that straight to the wording.
Well, there we go. That's that small town ideology that we both grew up.
You don't run for your fights. You finish them.
Interesting tidbit. Emily and I grew up not far from each other, even though we didn't know each other until this year.
Yep, but we have the same community. Yeah. So it's really weird. But anyways, stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about chapters 9 through 16.
Yeah.
And if you had not read this series, go ahead and read it with us or reread it with us.
Yes.
It's a fun time. And join us next time.
Bye.
Bye.